Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the 2016 One Nation of Gamers Hearthstone Circuit. Once again, my name is TJ, and I'm joined by the Tannen Grace. And we just saw Chess Dude take a pretty astounding victory over Pacoima. It was a pretty intense match. What do you think of that one, Tannen?
I'm still reeling from that last game.
Yeah.
Pacoima looked like he had it pretty set in the bag, got maybe a little quick in his execution, and left Chess Dude at 2, and it gave him the one turn he needed to attack with all of his minions and buff just enough to kill him. The Councilman getting a little out of hand, so we're seeing some old god cards really coming into the meta today and affecting some games. And like you said, that card gets out of hand. I know you're a big fan of it and thought it was really, really good. So honestly, I'm still just shocked at that game and that match. Chess Dude was up 2-0 to begin with. Looked like it was going to be a quick, easy one. And then we were pretty sure that he was going to get reverse swept. And then, to have it in that way, just honestly blown away.
Yeah, blown away, I think, is a great way to put it. I thought, like you said, I thought that Pacoima just was going to breeze that one to victory, but maybe factored in the life tap or something. Great play by Chess Dude, though. Good spot on the lethal, and he's going to move on to the finals, and he's going to face the winner of this next match, which is going to be Prophecy taking on Shoop. And Shoop, of course, from Vicious Syndicate. Shoop is no stranger to the One Nation of Gamers circuit. He completed in the summer circuit last year. He is number 4 in points. The points we updated the points a little bit, so he is number 3 in points. Actually, sorry, he's behind VLPS and Lead Paint at the moment, and he's just ahead of your teammate Astrogation. So he's up there right now in total points.
Yeah, and it looks like he's going to put a little bit more of a gap between himself and Astro here today. Astro didn't put in the performance that he wanted to in this tournament here this weekend, but you got to talk about, this is one of the main reasons I like this tournament series, TJ, is not only does it reward you for winning a tournament, which, let's be honest, a lot of Hearthstone tournaments are really top-heavy, it rewards consistency, and you're seeing that from Shoop. It seems like he's in the top 4 of every one of these events, and now he's getting something from it. You got to love consistency getting rewarded in Hearthstone.
Yeah, I want you to look down. Can you see the Geico points list at the moment?
No? Yeah, I have it picked up right here.
Yeah, look down at number, really great player there, number 33, I believe, is he's down there, number 33.
Who's that? Is that?
It's just me. It's just me. Well, I have my 3 Geico points. I'm taking them as far as they can go.
If you want to feel a little better about it, you've got more than I do. So I'm usually watching or casting these events and not actually playing in them, but the next time I get a chance, actually, I'm looking forward to playing in one of these. But honestly, I'm enjoying being on the other side of this as well. This is a lot of fun for me getting to watch this, especially today with the new set out. But looking at these opening hands between the two players, we don't see any new cards just yet. And that looks like it's Dragon Priest. That's a deck that we didn't see a lot of over the last few months, but a lot of people think it's kind of making a big comeback here.
Yeah, Dragon Priest was one of the decks that I know a lot of players had theory crafted to be really good in Standard. And, of course, we all know how great theory crafted cards and theory crafted decks can be. A nod to Trogzor the Earthinator.
Everyone's always right.
Yeah, everyone's always right. So we'll have to see how it's going to play out once sort of this expansion and the new format settles. But yeah, it has had some good results. I know VLPS, who also is the player. VLPS right now is in the lead for Geico points. VLPS is a player who, prior to Standard, was thinking that Dragon Priest was going to be one of the strongest decks in this format. So we'll see. Shoop is probably on that train as well. It's gotten this far. Keep in mind, these are the decks that these players used to play through the Open. So these are the decks that these guys have used to already win 5 or 6 rounds of the Open leading up until their semifinal match today.
And everybody's favorite play when they're playing the Priest class, turn 2 pass. Very commonly happens in the class, nothing to do on turn 2, but he's got a lot of hits coming up behind this one as well. He just needs to add another dragon to his hand. I think it's going to curve out pretty well here. He's got a Power Word Shield as well to help, keep his minions on board just a little bit longer. It plays well against stuff like Bash and Fiery War Axe and stuff, but there is some actual hard removal in Prophecy's deck as well. And you see that card Brawl in his hand, that could come into a big way in this matchup because Dragon Priest really needs a board state to win.
Yeah, very true. And once they lose board, it's hard for them to come back, especially without tools like Light Bomb that they used to have in the past. So Light Bomb, the loss of Light Bomb has really hurt Priest in a lot of matchups. This one, not so much, but in other matchups especially. So this is a deck that I've probably been playing the most since the standard format came out, since Whisper of the Old Gods have been released. It's basically Control Warrior, but the only cards that I put in that weren't, part of that were new cards was the Bloodhoof Brave. It's the only new card that I put in. So
you weren't trying out a whole bunch of new cool things. You just went with the safe card.
Nope, Control Warrior, man. I probably have well over like 7,000 games of Control Warrior played. I used to be a Control Warrior only player when I first started playing Constructed.
Aficionado.
Yeah. So like I probably played 3,000 Control Warrior games before I even like played 50 of any other deck.
I don't think I've played 7,000 Hearthstone games in my life, TJ.
Yeah, I played. I used to play way too much Hearthstone. I probably still play way too much Hearthstone.
I probably can't give you too much grief, though, about only having one new card in your deck. I was actually rocking a deck on the ladder during the last day that had 0 new cards in it. Big surprise there. The set's actually really good. I think it's great, but I just tried an old synergistic deck that didn't really lose much, and it was actually winning a good bit. But, we see a couple new cards here from these guys. The Dragon Priest deck, there's a card or two that have been added to it from Old Gods. You got to see if there's one. There's one right there. And I know you said you weren't the biggest fan of this card.
It's decent. It's got some power turns, and the power turns are sort of like the even number turns, 2, 4, 6, and 8, because those are where the power drops are. You delve into, there's not many bad 4 drops, there's not many bad 6 drops, there's not many bad 8 drops. There's a lot of bad 7 drops. There's quite a few bad 5 drops, and 3 drops can tend to be weird. Even 2 drops can tend to be weird. So, like, the best turn to use it is 8, because at 8 mana, you're always going to get something great. You're going to get Tyrion, you're going to get Rag, you're going to get Rag number 2. You're going to get big stuff like that. So, it does have power turns, but it's awkward and it's inconsistent, which is, I think, the 2 main qualms I have with it. Unlike Forbidden Ritual, which it always is the same power level across all the mana slots that you use it at.
I like how you described it as awkward and inconsistent. That's pretty much how I describe the entire Priest class. So
yeah,
that's what it always feels like to me. But I really hope that he plays it on turn 7 and we just get Dr. Boom. I would love to see that guy show up in the first standard tournament that I get to cast. And I'm like, man, I thought I wasn't going to get to see this card anymore or have to see it anymore.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree with you. Oh, War Golem. I mean, does he have Wisp? Is he ready?
Yeah, is he? I don't know.
Look, I'll say this right now. I'll go on public record. If I'm ever playing you on ladder and you play War Golem into Wisp on the same turn, I will concede to you immediately out of respect.
I think there needs to be more to it than that. You also need to order me a pizza right after you concede.
Well, you have to. I have to order you a pizza for playing the War Golem and the Wisp. Okay, TJ, you've got a deal.
Okay. Can you go ahead and add me on BattleNet after this game so I can proceed to Q snipe you day after day after day?
You only get 2 toppings though. No more. Only 2 toppings.
Okay. Fair enough. It's a deal. All right. Well, Cabal Shadow Priest is going to be pretty good for the next couple turns here. It's whether or not he feels like taking the Acolyte of Pain or the Armor Smith. Yeah,
which one do you like taking more? Are you worried about overdrawing in this matchup ever? Is this something that you ever worry about going to fatigue?
I don't think so. And, well, the attack first means he's taking the Acolyte of Pain. I think you're just trying to deny draws, but it would have been still a pretty clean clear if he had just killed the Armor Smith and then... killed the Acolyte of Pain and taken the Armor Smith. He also knows that he wants to have the most likely chance to leave a healthy minion on the board next turn, because he's got a second Cabal, so he could steal both. So what's more likely to stick around, an Acolyte of Pain or an Armor Smith? And I think the Armor Smith's more likely to stick around.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Definitely going to lean on you for some of the play-by-play here with your 7,000 Warrior games played. You probably have a little more experience with the Control Warrior deck than I do. And so far we're seeing double Revenge here, double Bash. I mean, this is a really, really control-centric, and it had a lease in it earlier as well. So I got to believe this is one of the ones that has almost no win conditions.
Don't look at those Revenges and don't look at those Bashes and think, wow, those are dead cards. Look at that Revenge and imagine it as a Ragnaros.
Or a
Look at that
Tyrion.
second. Look at that second revenge, and imagine it as a Deathwing.
Yeah.
Look at that brawl, and imagine it as a Malorn. Nope, just kidding. Malorn's gone. Look at that brawl, and imagine it as a Nubarak.
Yeah. So is this one of the matchups where if you have it, you try to keep coin, if possible, in your hand until the end of the game?
Not necessarily, because this matchup it's not like Control Priest. This matchup is the Dragon Priest matchup is more of like I don't want to call it a mid-range deck because it is more control style, but Dragon decks are essentially mid-range decks. They're mid-range tempo decks because their cards are they're overstated for their cost at the cost of having to have Dragon Synergy. But if you do have Dragon Synergy, you can tempo and pressure your opponent out of the game. And I think the name of the game here is to pressure. It's not necessarily to make it a super late game. I don't think Shoop runs like Unleash Starseeker, for instance. So his win condition is very linear. It's put a bunch of stuff on the board and pressure the warrior out of the game. It's not get to the late stages and try and get better legendaries than your opponent from your Golden Monkey.
And I really like the way Shoot played that turn. He didn't, he had a clean just Cabal Shadow Priest take the Armor Smith there, and you have like this huge board against Warrior, and you've taken 2 of their cards, but that plays right into something like Brawl. And when you see a card like a Lease come out of a Control Warrior deck, I immediately think of 2 Brawls. So I would be playing around that card as much as possible in this game. He doesn't have to beat him down in 3 turns. He can do it kind of slowly over a few turns if possible. He has so many cards in his hand, and eventually, if he gets enough of those removal spells out of his hand, Ysera is a card that can win him the game.
Yeah, but right now Prophecy's hand is not looking that great, and he's gonna be hard pressed to find enough removal to deal with Nefarian, to deal with Ysera. Now, one of the weaknesses. Oh, see, look, 8-drop. That's what I'm talking about.
Look at the little grin from Prophecy over there too. He's like, wait a minute, that's my card. You can't have that.
Yeah, there's just not many bad 8-drops. I don't know if there's a single bad 8-drop in the game that you can get from Forbidden Shaping. There's just so many good and impactful ones, and it's basically like putting a free 8-drop in your deck that's also flexible in that you can use it early on in the game. Oh!
If Shoop wants to, by the way, he can activate this Grom.
Yeah. He could.
Getting some damage on it does open it up to a card like Execute, but you do get in 10 damage.
Mm-hmm. I think 9 mana, or I think 8 mana is actually better than 9 mana overall.
What are the misses at 9?
Well, there's not really many misses, but there's everything at 9's pretty vanilla. Like you can get
there's
Nefarian.
Blade of Cthulhu. Blade of Cthulhu's a pretty big miss. You just get a 4/4.
Yeah, there's also RC for Farm is not that big of a body. Like 8-drop are the drops that are strong and also have effects. Like
there's
Tyrion.
A lot of legendaries, yeah.
Yeah. So 9, usually how you want to use Forbidden Shaping is on turn 10, heal your face or heal something, and then play it. Because that's the most. Because 10 drops have a lot of misses. Like if you get a Vanilla Yogg or even like a N'Zoth, a 5/7, a 6/6 Cthulhu, like most of the old gods. I guess your Sarge could be pretty good, but there's some 10 drops that can miss.
All right, I really like your reasoning. I don't think I'm ever going to play this card for something other than 8 from now on if I can avoid it. We're going to see Gorehell. This is a card that we've seen go in and out of Control Warrior decks, but I think this is one is like, you pretty much have to play Gorehell now since you don't have Death Spite anymore, right? This is one of the cards that has just found its way back into the list to kind of replace that, and you're going to see Harrison Jones go ahead and take care of this Gorehell. That is you may only get 1 card off the Harrison Jones here, but that's still a ton of value in this matchup.
Yeah. Yep. All right. What's the call here? Shoop. What's that card that he's mousing over?
Yeah, you got to be worried about Brawl, right? A little bit here.
Yeah, you do. You can't play around it too much. He does have a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. He does, even if he loses this board, he could still reload pretty easily. And I think this Holy Nova is just going to be like, Holy Nova is not going to be much better, so I'm just going to use it type of deal.
Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, what's a board that he wants to Holy Nova? There's Armor Smiths, Acolyte of Pains, and then at some point in time, the Bomb Train is happening once the Golden Monkey happens. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't see a board that he ever wants to Holy Nova, so I definitely like, just using that card there. There's also some weird plays that he can make on turns where if he could find a way to enrage his Grom, he could attack for 10 and then use something like Heal and Holy Nova to make sure it's not executable anymore. But that's going to take a weird circumstance to happen.
Hmm. I think the worst minion that you can get from 8 is like fossilized Devilsaur.
Still an 8/8. I mean,
Yeah. Oh nope, sorry. Boogie Monster.
is that one a 6/8?
6/6/7 that
Six,
whenever
seven, yeah.
this attacks and kills a minion, it gains +2/+2.
Ooh.
So people
was a
were calling it
pretty
a
good-
worse rule.
Yeah. Oh, a worse gruel. I like that. That was a pretty good brawl there, leaving over the Acolyte of Pain. Shoop's offensive output here has been stymied quite a bit by that brawl. Now he's gonna have to start developing yet again. And you got to know there's probably another brawl sitting somewhere in Prophecy's hand, and he does have an execute left over here to deal with this Ysera, but it's going to get at least one dream card here.
Yeah, and one dream card might just be, enough. Emerald Drake is probably the best in the situation when all you're looking for is just big bodies to throw it on the board. So, pretty good. And Prophecy, you can see him like, oh, well, second brawl's pretty good. Is it worth it, though? I think Execute's going to be the draw here. Execute and get Shoop closer to Fatigue by giving him a draw with the Acolyte of Pain.
Yeah, I definitely like using Revenge here because it gives Shoop another card here. He's starting to run out of space in his hand. He's going to get another card here off Varangian, and he's going to take care of the Northshire Cleric as well. I don't think Shoop was going to be utilizing Northshire Cleric anyway, so it's not like you're taking away the thing. And ooh, an Azure Drake is burned from Shoop. We've seen some pretty good cards get burned from overdraws here today.
Yeah, I don't know if Azure Drake's that bad of a card, just because, it's more cycle. Like
Right.
at this point where Fatigue could be an issue, I don't know if he's really too worried about it. Actually, I don't know if Fatigue would be an issue because Shoop has a lot of big threats still left to drop.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got Nefarian, and then he's got whatever comes from Forbidden Shaping, which we've seen be pretty good.
Yeah, he's got 10 cards in his hand versus 4 from Prophecy. He's got a way to deal with this Baron-Geddon here. He's going to go ahead and just take it out here with this Holy Nova and this Corruptor and start pushing a little more damage here. Shoop, he can just take his time. He knows, eventually he's going to run Prophecy out of stuff. But he's got to be a little wary of the Golden Monkey at some point as well, too. But if Prophecy is using all these cards to take care of it, it's not going to have that high of an impact.
Yeah, the thing about Golden Monkey is you give up all of your spells, so you have nothing to remove anymore. What Shoop can do is just develop a threat and remove on the same turn. Whereas Prophecy basically just plays one legendary per turn. So a lot of times, playing Golden Monkey when you're behind can sometimes be, just a death sentence. You want to play Golden Monkey when you have absurd amounts of armor totals, and you can't even tell if you're ahead or behind because you just have so much time to play all your legendaries anyway that doesn't even matter.
Yeah. And I really do like just Armor Pass here because you put the onus on Shoop to find a way to really pressure you here, and then it's going to start to play into Brawl a little bit again, but this is the last Brawl in Prophecy's deck. He's starting to run into the problem of, does he have enough to get through all of this stuff that Shoop's going to be doing? I mean, look at Shoop's hand. It's almost all threats.
Yeah, even those Twilight Whelps.
They still hit.
They do. 2 of those suckers get in for 4 damage a turn. If anything, can negate tank up later in the game, which can be a big deal, especially if you go into a fatigue scenario.
I thought about doing my best impression of That's Admirable there with the deep Gruntle tank up, and then I just thought of the damage it was going to do to my vocal cords if I tried to do it. And I just thought better of it.
Yeah. Sometimes I have nightmares about some of the That's Admirable-isms. Like I just wake up in a cold sweat after I hear in my dreams, "Take up."
I definitely could say the other end for you and Fluffernutter.
Oh no. I don't really have too many isms though.
Yeah, that's true.
My isms change all the time. It just depends on what day of the week it is.
I did give you a bunch of grief over Fluffernutter though, so I guess I shouldn't have brought it up yet again. But Golden Monkey added it to Prophecy's hand here, so there's a chance we're going to see some legendary sometime soon. But as you said, he's got to find that right spot to do it. He doesn't have this huge life total that he was looking for.
Yeah, at this point, his Golden Monkey will probably be used as desperation to try and pick up some super impactful legendaries right away. Deathwing, or I don't know, like one of the infinite legendaries if he can buy himself enough time, which I don't think there's really many more. Anubarak might be the only one that's still left. Malorn's gone. Oh. Malorn used to be the ultimate infinite legendary where it would just keep going back into your deck and you could never fatigue unless your opponent just ignored it. You'd fatigue for a turn, but then you'd get Malorn back.
So you can only get standard cards from the monkey now, right? I haven't played the monkey post standard. So.
Yeah, Pretty much the cards are deleted from the game in standard. Okay. Like you can't get them off anything. Like from Forbidden Shaping, you can't get old cards from Golden Monkey, from what's the Mage Legendary or the Mage Epic. I forgot the name of it. I even just looked at it. No, well, yeah, Cabal's Tome, yeah, but also the minion, the 6-mana minion, the 5/5 that summons a random 3-drop.
Oh, right, yeah. So he did get a few legendaries here, and we got some serious misses as well.
Oh yeah, look at that. Those are some whiffs. So Prophet Velen, but it doesn't affect armor up. Faceless Summoner, that's the name of it.
Yeah, every time I come into a game after a Golden Monkey has happened, like let's say I didn't see the Golden Monkey happen, and I come into this board state and I see it, I'm like, is this a Tavern Brawl? Did I just like jump into the middle of a Tavern Brawl match?
Yeah.
I will say this: someone turned 2 to Millhouse Mana Storm against me the other day, and I just died to it. I took like 16 from the card.
Oh wow!
What do you get? Battle Rage or Rampage?
Battle Rage. Yeah. The ultimate synergy. But yeah, at this point, when, like I said earlier, once you play the Golden Monkey, you give up all your spells. So Shoop can just ignore the legendaries and just hit face and play all of his threats. There's absolutely no reason not to. And there's a new Barak, which is one of the best you can get, but that's in a fatigue situation, and this is nowhere near a fatigue situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does he even have a way to not die this turn? You can kill the 2/4, you can Leroy into the Azure Drake, that leaves 10 power on the other side of the board. If he is dead here, I would like to see him just Millhouse Mana Storm and see what happens. Like let's just let the other guy go crazy. Let's let Shoop do whatever he wants. It looks like Prophecy's gonna agree with that. I like it.
Let's let him play his Forbidden Shaping for free. Oh wait,
yeah,
it's already free.
Leroy and Mukla. These bananas are free, by the way. There's a sale going on at your local grocery store right now. These bananas are free. He makes him overdraw to it. Oh, come on, Shoop. Like, doesn't even mess with it. Just no nonsense. Prophecy's trying to have a little fun here, and Shoop is the fun killer and also the Prophecy killer. And so Shoop's going to take a 1-0 lead there, but doesn't have any fun with the Millhouse Mana Storm. I definitely would have liked to have seen at least a little bit of that.
Yeah, and so that's Shoop taking game 1, and both these players have priests, so might be seeing some similar decks from them. I really like that deck from Shoop. It's pretty strong. It does well against control because of how many late game threats it has. So Shoop showing us some fun stuff there, but Prophecy now on the back foot. See if he can pull it together.